can't tell you how many books I read with such a beautiful cover. And the inside was... How can you even, like, tell someone, like, no, don't pew pew me. I'm not LC. I'm Megan. I'm in her body. Girl. That sounds like a nut. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for the next couple of reading vlogs that I have planned. In today's, I am going to be reading different types of thrillers. I'm looking at my little my X-Tiles app. I have 4 books planned for this video. I may do one more, but I don't know. Because I couldn't find the paper where I hand wrote it. But I have sapphic, political, heist, and domestic. For the first one we're gonna jump into is the sapphic one. A Gorgeous Gruesome Faces by Linda Ching. If looks can kill, then she's drop dead gorgeous. After a shocking scandal that abruptly ended her teen pop star career, 18-year-old Sunny Lee spends her days longing for her former life and cyber-stalking her ex-BFF and groupmate Candy. The two were once inseparable, but that was then, before all the tragedy and heartache. In the here and now, Sunny is surprised to discover that Candy is attending a new K-pop workshop in Sunny's hometown, because Sunny actually moved from LA to Atlanta, so the workshop is taking place in Atlanta. But Sunny can't resist the chance to join her and finally confront the demons in their past. Because she still can't figure out what happened that horrible night with Mina, the third of their tight-knit trio jumped to her death, or if the dark and otherworldly secrets Sunny and Candy were keeping had something to do with it. But the workshop brings neither the happy reunion Sunny has hoped for, nor answers to her sinister questions. Instead, Sunny finds herself haunted by ghostly visions, while her competitors suffer strange injuries, which become even stranger mutilations that soon turn deadly. In her race to survive, Sunny will have to expose just what's behind the carnage, and whether Candy is out for blood once again in Linda Ching's spellbinding sapphic thriller that will have readers screaming and swooning for more. I have already started it. I started at like 1 a.m. this morning. I'm really enjoying it. Could this be my first 5-star of the year? It's to be determined. It's actually pretty sad. Sunny was a part of this show with 2 other girls, Candy and Mina. It was kind of like the Cheetah Girls, right? Where the Cheetah Girls is a movie, but the Cheetah Girls, the group, is different from the movie because Cheetah Girls, the group, didn't have Raven-Symoné in it. But Raven-Symoné is a part of the movie. And that's kind of how this is, where the show had a K-pop group that also became an actual K-pop group outside of the TV show. Our girl Sunny has been through it. She is like the least liked person out of the group. The star of the group is Candy. People like Mina, but apparently something happens. She may have home wrecked a relationship. A lot of people don't like her anymore, and she's getting bullied in here, which is heartbreaking to read. And there's even a scene at the beginning of the book. There's this woman who sees her and she's like, oh, you know, you're that girl from such and such. She said, yeah. She's like, oh, can you take a picture with my 2 kids? They come and the mom's like, look who I saw. It's Candy from your favorite, you know, group, favorite show. And she's like, I'm not Candy. And the girls were about to say that, but they didn't. They just took the picture. And when they walk to the next aisle, she can hear them talking. The mom was like, you know, what's wrong? And they were like, oh, that's not Candy, that's Sunny. We don't like Sunny because such and such. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then now that she's at this workshop, because I've actually gotten to that part, the girls are not talking to her, and she's actually rooming with Candy. But I'm curious where this sapphic relationship is going to come from, because I don't know, is it going to be with Candy, like an enemies to lovers kind of thing? Or there was another character that was just introduced. Her name is Faye, and a part of this workshop, people are going to be eliminated. Like, think of America's Next Top Model or something. And they just said, like, the top scorers were Candy and like 2 other people. And then the bottom was our character Sunny this girl named Faye and like 2 other people, and those 2 other people were eliminated. So her and Faye are kind of, you know, talking now. They just met like a chapter ago. Oh, and I'm really liking the then and now format. I normally don't like it, but when we're going back in the past, I think we go about 4 years before and we see that first time, you know, where she auditions for the show and she gets on. It's linear. I'm normally skeptical of a then and now kind of thing because I feel like when we go in the past, it's out of order. We'll go in the past and it's like 4 years before, and then when we go back in the present, back in the past, it's like before again. So I don't know, but this, it's linear when we go back in the past, which I'm really enjoying because it's not confusing. But I'm going to continue reading it. We've already seen some of like the visions that have happened, and they're a little spooky. Y'all, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Turn this way. Nope, too far. But I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm on page 234. I have like this much left, y'all. Normally I wouldn't even film any type of reaction or video, but honestly, y'all, this could potentially be a 5-star. And the reason why I wanted to come on and say it now is because we're getting towards the end, and I think it's gonna depend how it wraps up. But I feel like I have a feeling what's going on, and I'm enjoying this book so much. I could have finished this all in the same day yesterday, Sunday. Took my time, and honestly, I didn't even take my time. I just didn't manage my time right. I'm loving this book. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I couldn't pick out one. Not to say that it's perfect, like if I truly thought about it, sure. But off the top of my head, I couldn't pick one like critique at the moment.
It's giving 5-star vibes.
I'm so happy because the cover eats. I can't tell you how many books I've read with such a beautiful cover. And the inside was... I was reading on my lunch break and something finally happened because these girls are hurting themselves. They're injuring themselves. They aren't necessarily going all the way, and at first I'm like, I have no clue like what to think. There was something that happened not that long ago, and I'm like, I feel like I could go this way, you know, with this person maybe being behind it. But it's not even really a person. It's like a person and a what? Y'all, I'm on page, well, I'm not gonna say what page I'm on. I am getting so freaked out right now. Like, what is going on? Some of the reveals are happening and everything is just coming together. Oh my gosh, is this a 5-star? I am eating this book up. The rating on Goodreads is only like a 3.70 something, which is pretty good for a thriller, but more specifically a YA thriller. That's too low for this book. I'm telling you now, that's too low. I'm gonna have to go read those 1 and 2 stars. I have to. Court is in session. 5 stars. 5 stars. It took, I have the hiccups, sorry. It took 17 books to get a 5-star. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. This had me from cover to cover. I'm sorry, y'all. Everything just flowed. It had my attention. I was definitely wrong with like what happened. I was kind of wrong, but kind of not. When you get to the end, everything just tied up so neatly with a bow. Every single thing that you read in here, it's in here for a reason. Whether it's in the past, the then section, or the now section. It is sapphic. However, I think I mentioned in a previous clip, I didn't really know like where that relationship would come into. It's not subplot of romance. So if you're going into it expecting that, it's not. It's very, very, very minimal. I never take points off for that because it's not in the romance genre. It's a thriller. Typically when I read books that have a then and now or a past and present, I always prefer to stay in one section in the present, and I hate going into the past or something. I liked both. Both had my attention. Again, everything in the past, it's there for a reason. And what I truly, truly, truly appreciate, I mentioned it already in here, it's in order. It's linear. When we go into the then, we start from the very beginning. We go back into the present a couple of chapters. When we go back into then, we're starting back where we were. We're not skipping around in the past like some books do, and it's so confusing. I have also started the next book in here. I didn't know if I wanted to. 1,000,000 to 1. This is a heist thriller. I'm assuming it's a thriller. I could have sworn it was when I did my research. I didn't double check. We're gonna slip it in this video anyway. This is, I don't know if this is historical or not, but it does take place in 1912 because our main characters are going on the Titanic to steal a book. It's a book of poetry, I believe. I bookmarked it. Called the Rubaiyat. I don't know if that's truly like, that's something real or if this is just something in the book. Collection of poems that has jewels on the cover. I don't know who's who. I'm gonna assume this is our main character because I mean she's not necessarily front and center because she's at the bottom, but she is. So I'm gonna assume that's our main character, Josepha, and she's the one that's planning the whole thing. This is Emily. I think they're gonna be in some kind of a relationship. I could be wrong, but I do know that this author, Adiba, this is my second or third book of hers. I think almost all her books have sapphic relationships at the forefront, and I believe this is her only like non-romance, but we'll get into that. I'm pretty sure, I know for sure, you can't see her because of my library's barcode. Violet, that should be Hannah. I might have messed up the names. She's the mastermind. Violet, the actress and the disassembler. So like if they need someone to like talk to someone and like distract them, she's the person. She is an artist that can replicate like anything by hand. So she's gonna like forge documents to get on the Titanic, and she's gonna also replicate the book. Think of Ocean's 8. Hannah is an acrobat and a contortionist. I'm assuming this is Hannah. Hannah. She's the only one left. But it's like, I feel like it's her because if you look at her hands, it's like she has something wrapped. Why would our main character be on the side like that? And she's the acrobat contortionist, I guess, to get them into, she's gonna get into small spaces, you know, to like unlock a door or something and get them on. I'm nervous going into it because if you look on Goodreads, it's like a 3.20 something, I believe. I'm liking it so far. I am on chapter 9, page 60. Oh my gosh. I have an update. I am almost the halfway mark of the book. Goodreads is telling me I'm at the halfway mark, but I know I'm not. I'm enjoying it. I'd say it's about a 4 right now. I don't see it being a 5. It's almost like Ocean's 8, and I've read quite a few books that give off Ocean 8 vibes, but very much this one because, before I forget, I got the characters wrong. The only 2 I got right was Violet and Emily. These 2 need to switch. Like I said, right when I noticed her hands, that is Hannah. And our main character, Josepha, is this girl. Because I saw some fan art, I just don't believe that would be our main character because why is she kind of off-center? Shoot, I forgot what I was going to say. It's really almost like Ocean's 8. Not like, yeah, they're trying to commit this heist, but more specifically, Josepha, there's a guy in this book, and we find out that he did her dirty. And if you've seen Ocean's 8, Sandra Bullock's character was also done dirty by a man in the movie. I'm kind of seeing similarities like that, which I think is fun. The plot is going, you know, it's not like it's super slow, but I'm also curious because this is taking place on the Titanic and we all know how that ended. And there's also a countdown in here when you start some of the chapters. For example, chapter 21, 2 days, 4 hours, and 40 minutes. I'm wondering if it's counting down to, you know, the crash or the sinking. Anyways, hey y'all, I'm confused. I haven't started editing this video yet. Is this the last book that I read? I'm asking y'all like y'all should know. Because I've read So Let Them Burn. Okay, so I ended up reading 2 books. Okay, because I'm working on 2 videos at the same time. I'm working on a thriller video and my Black History reading video, which will be out before this one. And I've been reading like tit for tat. I read one thriller. After I finish it, I go to my book for the Black Readathon video. But this time, I think I ended up reading 2 books back to back for this video. So this should be the last book that I talked about. Editing me popping in. Just realized I never even gave an update after me saying this is the last book I talked about. I did end up giving it a 4-star. I had a great time reading it. It was fast paced. I could see other people not liking it, but I think because I've read books like it, again, books with heist, I'm not new to it. Not to say that they are new to it. I don't know. I think I know what to expect in this kind of book, and I enjoyed myself.
This before I see her in a polycon, so we'll see. 11:30.
Hey. Let me turn Lisa down. Actually, I'm gonna pause it because I want to watch what she's saying. I am off from work. I'm starting a new schedule. So now on my Flex Fridays, I get off at 11 instead of 12, which feels very early, but it's already 11:42. I don't remember what all I read in here. I think I've only read 2 books. So let me give you a little update. I only read 2 books. So hear me out. This video, I was supposed to read different kinds of thrillers, meaning subgenre. So I read a heist thriller in here. I was supposed to read a political or a legal thriller, a romantic thriller. However, it's not working out that way. I had a hard time trying to find a romantic thriller because the only thing I could find were like romantic suspense. And I don't know, I just didn't want to read that. I want like a thriller. And then I found 2. One of them, I didn't like the writing. And then the other one I haven't tried yet. So I don't know, I may give it a shot. We'll see. But I read a sapphic one in here. However, that's not really a subgenre of like a thriller. And I think I mentioned that. That's just the sexuality of the character. But that genre is actually, and that was Gorgeous Gruesome Faces. Still to this day, it's March 1st, and that's still my only 5-star. I think I've read 9 books since then. It's a speculative thriller, but I wasn't counting it as that. I was counting it as a sapphic thriller. And then I read a heist thriller in here. I read A Million to One. So my next book is actually Out of Body. I'm so excited to read this by Nia Davenport. The problem is, this is also, I believe, a speculative thriller. I'm gonna read it anyway. So I'm not gonna worry about reading different genres, subgenres of thriller in this video, just different kinds of thrillers. The plot of this is different than what I've read before, right? It's kind of like a Freaky Friday plot where we have 2 girls. I don't know who's who yet. We have Elsie, but she's not our main character. Our main character is Megan or Megan. I'm gonna probably call her Megan because I have a cousin named Megan and that's how she spells it. And that's how she pronounces it. So 17-year-old Megan meets a new friend named Elsie. Elsie, not Elsie. Like E-L-S-I-E. Literally L-C. On the night of their friendiversary, what was supposed to be a bonding experience ends in a waking nightmare. Suddenly, Megan is no longer herself. Too late, she realizes that Elsie has secrets. So it's some kind of body swap. It's giving Freaky Friday, and I love that. At the very beginning, because I already started, I'm only like on chapter 2. It's very short, 265 pages. Lots of chapters, which means the chapters are short. At the very beginning, this is the opening. There's no header or anything. We're just in someone's point of view, and they have like a duffel bag, and they're leaving. I'm assuming that's Elsie because she has all kinds of secrets. And now because they've switched bodies, so now Megan is now in Elsie's body, and Elsie, I'm assuming, is in Megan's body. Somebody is going to be after Elsie while Megan is in her body. So now Megan is going to be on the run. What was Elsie up to? How can you even like tell someone like, no, 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 don't pew pew me. I'm not LC. I'm Megan. I'm in her body. Girl, that sounds like a nut. I'm also curious if this is my new favorite kind of subgenre of thriller, speculative, because I loved Gorgeous Gruesome Faces. I'm reading this one, but not only that, horror as well. I have another book called, but I'm not reading it in this because it's horror. She is a Haunting. I wanted to do a quick check-in. I'm on page 63, chapter 7. Super fast-paced. I don't want to put it in the air, but it could be a, you know. I'm on page 63 and already they've switched bodies. We see now that Megan, our main character, is kind of realizing that LC might have done this on purpose. My only thing is I'm hoping that whatever LC was running from had nothing to do with her home life, because then that puts Megan, I don't know which one is who, but that puts her in a bad situation because she's going into this not knowing anything about LC's background. She doesn't know her background. She didn't even know where she lived. And already she can't go home because she's in LC's body. Hey! I was about to say welcome back to my channel. I have finished Out of Body. I finished it like 2 days ago. Before I get into the rating, let's talk about it. So I was actually gonna log in my thoughts like right before I got to the halfway mark, 35–40% of the way through, because I felt like something clicked. When I first started this, I really didn't know what to expect, even after reading the synopsis. I mean, you know she's gonna be betrayed by someone, she's gonna switch bodies, but you don't know what that person LC is running from. And it wasn't until about 35 or 40% of the way through where I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is what happened, da 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 da. And then I was gonna log in or whatever, start filming. And then the next page, it was kind of confirmed what I was thinking. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a trip. Very enjoyable, very, very, very fast paced. However, I'm gonna give it a 4.75. Hear me out. Very good. The pacing is really good for this amount of pages, right? Because one thing I hate in a short book, and this book is 265 pages, is if it's slow. And so I thought the pacing was really good until you get to the conflict, the climax, and the climax with climaxing. It finished too fast. I think I wanted it dragged out a little more, and there was this confusing aspect of it where I was kind of like, huh? And I had to like reread. It ended well. I had no problem with the end. All in all, I mean, this is a great book. And if you go on the author's page, right, because I was saying that this is giving Freaky Friday vibes, but if you go on the author's page, she actually goes a little farther, and she has one of those posts with the squiggly lines, and it's like, what does it say? Get Out meets Freaky Friday or something. And let me tell you, it definitely makes sense. That's not a spoiler because she even has it on her page. I was so shocked that there's like barely any reviews, but it just came out February 6th. I just hope that a ton of people actually get out and read this because it's really worth it. I think I'm gonna end it with this book. That's it for today's video. I hope you had a great time. I did. All the books were really good. You know what? Leave a comment below if you know any more speculative thrillers or speculative horrors. And I'll see you next week. Bye. Okay, so let's do my... I do not like the way my hair looks, but it's whatever. Wait, what books are in here? I don't think I have any of them. I have a fat face. Okay, that's it.